my friends. This is Shelley from Koala Knits and Knacks. Thank you so much for joining me. We are going to make this very, very pretty beanie. It is made on our 22 needle machine. So I used my Addi, but you can use your Centro, no problem. I used Bernat Premium yarn in the colors black and soft heathered gray, and I just think it looks beautiful together. There is a patterning to these stripes, so you'll want to watch and do the same if you like how this beanie looks. And you know, I love it because you can wear it as a regular beanie that's close to your head, or you can unfold the brim and wear it as a slouchy beanie. So like, it's beautiful both ways. You'll see that I have also made a matching neck warmer. You can find that on my channel as well. It follows the same striping pattern and uses the same colors, and I have posted that at the same time, so it's there for you. So grab your machines, grab your machine, grab your yarn, and let's get going. I am excited about this beanie because it's made just on our 22 needle machine. So many times people will say, I don't have a 46 or 48 needle machine, what can I do? Well, now you can make a beanie on your 22 needle machine. We are going to bring the last white and the first black needle in line with our yarn feeder. We're going to put waste yarn, which is a different color of yarn, to our project. You want to make sure that it's a contrasting color so that it's much different than your working yarn, so that when we're going to close the end later, you'll be able to see your stitches well, okay? We're going to cast on behind that first black, in front of the next, behind and in front, behind and in front, all the way around. Oops, and of course I got a knot. There we go. Just like this. And when it's in front of that last white needle, you're going to open your latch, you're going to pop it into that yarn feeder, and you're going to knit as many rows as you're comfortable with. It sticks the first one on this yarn, but that's okay, then just keep going. And we're going to do, I do 7 rows. But this is a piece of waste yarn that I've used in the past, so I'm going to hopefully make 7 rows, and I haven't cut off a little bit of the end. I think I have, so I'm going to stop when I see that coming around right there. And there we go. I'm going to open my latch. I'm going to pop in that tail, and I'm going to grab my first color. It doesn't matter. We're using 2 colors. It doesn't matter which one you start with, because you'll start with one and you'll end with the other color for this particular tube, and then you can it just doesn't matter. But I'm going to take the light gray first, and I'm going to pop that into my yarn guide. I'm going to change my row counter to 0. Oops. Just like that. And I'm going to begin knitting. Okay, this is row 1. This is 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 10 rows. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. I see that black needle coming around. Usually I have a divider there. I've got to take a black permanent marker and mark that divider like I do on my other machines. I ordered a new machine. And this is brand new. So I'm going to mark that divider there. But I'm going to now take my second color, which is my black. I'm going to pop it into that yarn feeder. I'm going to do a jogless join. So if you do not want to do a jogless join, then you just will knit 3 or 4 needles, and you'll tie a tight knot in this. Then you'll see a little bit of a jog in your color on the other side when you take your project off. But to eliminate that, now that these both are in between the last white and the first black, we're going to take that new yarn. We're going to swing it to the right on that white needle. Okay. Then you're going to hold both of those. You're going to knit 4 or 5 needles. You're going to pop that down under the divider. You're going to take both ends of your working yarn, and you're going to pull on it. That will snug up your stitches there so that you have a nice even tension. Drop these 2 into the middle, and you're going to knit 10 rows. And just stay with you. This is so smooth. Oh, this is 19 and 1 more. Okay. Watch for that black needle to come. I'm going to cut that off. So we've done 10 rows of color A, 10 rows of color B. We're going to take our color A again, which for me is light gray. Pop that into the yarn guide, doing a jogless join, so around to the other side of your needle. Knit 4 or 5 needles, pop that down, pull on it, And if you back this up and look at it again, you'll see how they snugged up there. That way, when you take your project off your machine, the beginning needles of your row are just as nicely tensioned as the rest, okay? So don't miss that step. I always do that with every row change. And when I forget it, then I realize it after. Okay, it's 2. So we're gonna do 5 rows. That's 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 1 more, 5. Okay, cut that yarn, open your latch, pop that in the center, take your color B, your second color again, pop it in there, swing it behind that other side of that white needle, and you are going to do the same thing, tighten your stitches, and then we're going to knit 5 rows. Okay, there we go. So your counter should say 30, that you have finished 30 rows. We did 10 of color A, 10 of color B, 5 of A, 5 of B. That's 30 rows in total. You're going to repeat this color change, so this color patterning 2 more times, so 3 times in total. So 10 rows of color A, 10 rows of color B, 10 rows of color A, oh my goodness, let's just start that over. 10 rows of color A, 10 rows of color B, 5 rows of color A, 5 rows of color B, and you're going to repeat that for color patterning 2 more times, and you'll have a total of 90 rows. Okay, friends? So you go ahead and you finish your patterning. It's easy to do. And if you feel that you need it a little bit wider, this is 90 rows is the width that I like for my head. If you feel that you need it a little bit wider, then you'll need to add another patterning section in there. I wouldn't do 30 rows. That'd be way too high. Maybe add another 5 rows at the end, or do 2 rows of color A and 2 rows of color B, 4 rows extra, just so a pattern can stay in there. Or add 2 rows to the beginning 10 and 2 rows to the end 10. That's another thing you can do. However you want to work the patterning. For this particular beanie, I am only using 90 rows. And so this is my patterning. You'll have to figure out where you want to add the extra colors if you want to add more rows, okay? But this will fit the standard size head, okay? So now I'm going to cut off this black. I'm going to pop that in between the last white, the first black. I'm going to take my gray again, pop it in there, pop it around that white needle, knit 4 or 5 needles, tighten it off, drop it into the center. I'm going to knit 10 rows, then I'm going to knit 10 rows of black, 5 rows of gray, 5 rows of black, 10 rows of gray, 10 rows of black, 5 rows of gray, 5 rows of black, and that will take me to 90 rows. And then, my friends, I will see you back. How did that go for you? Good, I hope. So I finished with my last 5 rows of black. I'm going to go ahead and take my waste yarn. First, I'm going to cut my tail of my black yarn, put it in between the last white and the first black. We do not need to do a jogless join with our waste yarn. So we're going to pop that into the center between the last white and the first black. Boy, do I have a mess. Oh, I don't usually have this much of a mess around my workstation, but today is different. And we're going to just knit as many rows as you're comfortable. I'm going to do 7. Sometimes you have to just pull on your work out over to the side there. I think this is 8, but there we go. You're going to cut off your yarn tail, open your latch, pop that between the last white and the first black. Shut your latch because you don't want your needle to clip the end there and break. Okay, and you rotate your barrel twice and it will let loose. Just like that. Often you have to help that last one off, but that's okay. We're going to pull that off, bring it out and around, and okay, so we have 10 rows of gray, 10 rows of black, 5 rows of gray, 5 of black, 10 gray, 10 black, 5 gray, 5 black, 10 gray, 10 black, 5 gray, and 5 black. And now what we're going to do is we're going to set this aside, and we're going to make, we'll fix those joins. We're going to make 2 more. So you're going to have 3 of these. And Once you have all those 3 made, I want you to then take just whatever color you want to look like your brim. I'm going to use the gray. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to set our counter to 0. We're going to, cast on with waste yarn, just like we did before. Open our latch. I'm going to knit 7 rows of waste yarn. Okay. And from there, I'm going to cut off my waste yarn. I'm going to insert my gray, and again, you use whichever color you want to look like your brim, okay? It's going to be your brim, but it's just a different kind of a brim than what we're used to making, okay? Because we're just doing a solid color. We're going to pop that in. We're going to knit 4 or 5 needles, pop those down under the dividers, tighten up that tension there at the beginning. Just put one little tie in there just to hold it. Then we are going to knit 90 rows. No color changes, no nothing, just a straight 90 rows. Okay, when you get your 90 rows done, you're going to add your waste yarn like we did to our last panel, and take your work off the machine, and then you will have 3 striped pieces and 1 solid piece. Okay, go ahead, get all 4 of those pieces done, and when you have that finished, I will see you back. All right, friends, so we have our sections done. I've already finished these 2, and we're going to get to that. And I have closed the end of this gray one. In the next clip, I show you how I do that. It's easier to see it done on the gray than it is on the black. So I'm going to show you on this solid tube. But I'm going to go ahead and insert this next clip in. I actually went ahead and I showed you how to do the closing of this tube, and then I realized, oh, we didn't do the jogless join before I told you to shut the tube. So we're going to take our striped ones. All of these have to be done before you close the ends. You can close one end, but you can't close them both before you do this, okay? So you see how when we add our yarn, it goes around in a circle, and so then it's off-centered. We're going to do this so that we can pull those together just like that. So what we do, get all those tails out of the way. We're going to put our fingers on top of the row and on the bottom of the row, underneath the row, and that's just so that I can hold this firmly while I pull on this. You're going to take both tails, and you're going to just give it a little pull, and you can see and hear and feel that go into place. And when it does, our row is lined up. You're going to take these 2. You're going to tie them. You're going to make sure that when you tie this first little knot that you're not pulling on it too tight so that it compromises that again. You're going to make the second one tight. Then you're going to cut it off. I'm not going to talk during this next one, and then you can see it, but you can also hear it, okay? So I'm going to put my fingers on. I'm going to press down. And there we go. It's gone into its rightful place. We're going to give that a tie. Cut it off. And we're going to move on to the next one, making sure we do all of them. That one was a little bit weird to pull. The black one didn't seem to pull as much as the gray, but I guess it didn't need to. So then we're going to tie that knot and tie that knot. Let me do one more with you. Press down with your fingers. Grab both tails. Hold them firmly. There, you see, you heard that, you saw that, and now your rows are all lined up. And I'll show you the other side in just a minute after I close the tube. Okay, well, I'll take one that I've already closed. You can see that this is what it looks like. This is where my knots are, right here. Let me just smooth this out for you. And so our joins are a lot smoother. Now you're not going to see this because it's on the side, and we're gonna sew around it. But because when it's like this, we're gonna join them. But it's still a very good, and here they are. It's still a very, very, very good practice to do. And so we're going to set that aside. I'm going to continue closing up this tube, and then I'm going to show you how we close the end. All right. So friends, first thing you do is you fix all your jogless joins on your 3 tubes, and then I'll see you back. I'm going to set those ones aside, and I'm going to use this gray one to show you how to close the ends because it's easier to see the stitches. If I show you on black, you can't see. All right, so we are going to pull that little tie apart. We're going to take a look. This side is, this is the beginning of our project because it doesn't unravel. You have to take that first row out. So that's how you know. And if you look at the other side, when your yarn tails are going down, that's the end of your work. When they're coming up, that's the beginning of your work. Okay, that's just one more way to figure it out. And also this one unravels very, very easily. That's the end of your work. So you're going to take this side, the beginning of your work, and you're going to look for that yarn tail. Okay, this is our waste yarn. And you will see that this is the loop that it is. So when you pull on that, you see the loop that it's going through, the gray loop that it's going through. This one right here. This is our first stitch that we're going to put a marker in. When you go to the left of that, you'll see this tail, which is our working yarn, and right beside it is that first loop. That's where you put your second stitch marker. That is stitch 22. So now we're going to just put this like this. These 2 bobby pins, stitch markers on the one side. We know there are 22 stitches on here, so we need to find the very half here. And we're going to do that by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, and then this is 12. 11 and 12, oops. 11 and 12 are our 2 very corner stitches. We're going to put our hook under the 12th one, the 12th loop. We're going to count that as number 1. We're going to go under the 11th loop. Pick it up, bring it through the loop on your hook. That's 2. Come down to the bottom, find that next gray bar. And pick it up, put it through the loop on your hook. 3. Go up to the top, grab the next one. 4. And down to the bottom. 5, oops, snagging there. Up to the top. 6, 7, 8, 9, and you want to count these, 10, 11, 12, because if you forget one, like if I pass over this one by mistake and go to here, then when I take my waste yarn off, that row is going to undo. So if you're new, make sure you're counting them. If you're not new, then it's something that just comes natural and we don't generally miss them. Okay, so I'm going to just finish this with you. I'm going to go to this one. And if you are new, when you're doing it the way I'm showing you, this bottom bobby pin will always be 21. So when you're counting, this was 21. And you work it, and then you pull up on this bobby pin to find that stitch that gets tight, and that's 22. Then you can take it out, yarn over, pull it through the loop. You've just tightened that end. Let's go to the other end. Where your waste yarn is coming out, okay, you'll see that if you pull on that waste yarn, that loop that it's going through is where you put your first bobby pin. That will be your first stitch. You go to the left of that, and then this loop here at the top, another way to find it is that is the tail. It belongs to the tail of your working yarn. That's the one you're going to put it in for 22. You're going to then put it in half like this again. You're going to count around. 11 and 12 are your very side stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This would be 12. So I count that as 1, and then 2, 3, and 4, and 5. And I'm going to work it all the way to the end, tie it off, like we did the other side. And then you're going to do this to all of your other tubes, okay? So go ahead, finish closing your ends. And once we have our beanie together, we are going to do a nice seam up the sides that hides our edge. You'll see what I mean in just in a short time here. But you're going to first of all finish closing all your tubes just like what I've just showed you. That's 21, 22, yarn over, pull it through the loop on your hook, tighten it, and then we're going to take our waste yarn off. To do that, on this side, all it does is pull off easily like this, okay? But I'm going to show you another little trick. When you're pulling off your waste yarn, where is it? It tangles around this little gray piece end here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your tail, put it on your needle, pop it through the seam there, and out your work. Then you're going to pull it through, but you're going to put your finger in there because you don't want to pull it all the way through. You need to have a loop just like that you can find. Then you're going to be able to pull this off without it tangling all the way around your tail, okay? Pull that out. Then you can go ahead and pull this, take that out. We're going to go around to the other side. This one's not so long. It's not going to really, well, it still will. So let me just do that first. Oops. It's just an easy way to get this out of your way. Put your finger in there because you don't want the whole thing going through. You need to still find that loop to pull it off. But for the beginning of your work, you have to undo the first row. So you're going to just, here's where your yarn tail is. Just go down 5 or 6 stitches. You're going to find where you have your very top row, pinch the stitch, pull out the yarn. Go down 4 or 5 or 6, pinch the stitch, pull out that top row. Do that all the way around. Very, very easy to do. Okay, then you can go ahead, pull it out. Like so. I'll wind that up later. Pull that out, and there you have it. All ready to seam closed. So go ahead, do that to the other tubes. I'm going to go finish those off too, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I close this, okay? All right, so we have all 4 done. And I just want to show you, okay, I hid the ends except for I forgot one here, so I'm going to hide that real quick. But you want to make sure that you stretch your work widthwise and lengthwise again, because we didn't do it properly, unless you did it without my telling you, but I didn't tell you to do it properly after you took it off the machine. So now is the time to do it if you have not done that. Stretch it out widthwise and lengthwise all the way down on all your pieces. Just like that. Our jogless joins are on the side here, so we're not going to see them anyways because we're going to do the mattress stitch. But it's just good practice to do. But that's what they look like. Because my joins are right there. Like, seriously. Perfect. 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 I love it. So when you're doing blankets and stuff, it's the way to go. Okay, so we're going to take our pieces and we're going to make them into a tube. Just like this, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to put a piece of yarn on our needle. Now, I'm going to use the gray again because on this one, if I was to put this together, it's very, very hard for you to see the black stitches. So you do the same thing. Put a good light over top of you so you can see. But you're going to go ahead and you're going to line up those 2 sides. Once you stretch this, of course, I didn't do this one. Do that quick. It won't make a difference in my seam, but I just am thinking about it and I forgot about this one, so we'll do this one too. You're going to put your edges together like this. Then you're going to take your needle. You're going to come up, and I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see it too. We're going to come up on the end, go over to the other side, come up on the end by just grabbing those 2 bars on the side there, pull that through. Then what we're going to do is we're going to find the row where the narrow part of the stitch, where the V is up here, okay? So on this one, you'll see that the wide part of the V, it goes like this, doop, and up. This one here is from the wide part here, the point is up here. You're gonna go underneath that row. So here's where the point of the stitch is. You're gonna just pick it up like that. Pull it through. You're gonna go over to the other side. And you see where the wide part of the stitch is down here and the V is here? You're going to follow that up and you're going to take that stitch and you're going to put it on your needle just like that. Then you're going to go back to this side and you're going to find that next one. So that's right here. The wide part of the V is here. Is closest to me, and then the point of the V is up there. So you're going to take that row and just put your needle underneath those 2 bars. And you're going to go back to that side, do the same thing. Come over to this side. That very next one where the point of the V is up here, you're going to take that. This one, the point of the V is closest to me. Grab that one. Go to the next one, the point of the V is up here. The next one, the point of the V is closest to me. Okay, and that is how we're going to work our way across. So the point of the V is up here and the wide part of the stitch is down. On this one, the point of the V is closest to me and the wide part of the stitch is up. And you're going to grab those 2 bars. We're going to work our merry way across the row. Isn't this easy? It's the Kitchener stitch, but just explained in a different way. Rather than going, let's go under and up and then, I don't even know anymore. But you just got to pick up. It's a grafting method and it works beautifully for this project. And I'm going to show you once we get to the end because we're almost there. Okay? You can do this. We can all do this. Pick up that first row that's hiding down there. Looks a little tight, but I got it. Come to this last one here. And this last one on this side is what I'm going to take. Oops. And then we're going to finish this one later, but you see how this is forming? This is the stitch that we just did. Let's just look at this one. This is the point of the V going down here and the wide part here. And this one is what we just added. It mocks that same stitch patterning, and then this one. So it's such an easy way to remember how to do the Kitchener stitch, rather than, I've shown it in other videos where go down, then come up, go up, and then come down kind of thing. This, on my last project that I used it, I visualized how it was actually working, and I thought, man, there's an easier way to explain that, and that's exactly what I just showed you, okay? So now we're going to take the very side stitch here, and the very side stitch here, and I'm just going to bring them together and then tie a knot. See, wouldn't you agree? Anybody can do this. And it's fun, like fun, 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 fun. There we go. I'm going to take this and I'm going to, is it long enough to go around my piece? Let me see, then I won't have to take it off. Yes, it is. So I'm going to leave that on. I'm going to go ahead. Well, I have to take it off because I'm going to hide this one, tie it and hide it. You're going to need a piece of yarn that goes around this length about 1.5 times so that you don't run out. And we're going to join our tubes. That's what we'll do next. So I'm going to start over. I'm going to hide that one, just in case yours is too short too, and then you're going to wonder, well, what do I do? So I'm going to hide that one like I'm hiding this one, and then we're going to put another piece of yarn onto our needle, one that will go around the circumference of this piece 1.5 times at least, and then I'll see you back. I'm on my last striped tube, and this gives me much joy to do this, to pull my ends. I love that process. It's so satisfying. Okay, I'm going to tie off my knots, my ends, hide my work ends, my tail ends, and then we're going to do the wonderful process of joining our tubes into a beanie. Now the fun part begins. Now when you put them beside each other and line them up, you might say, oh no, they don't match. Like, look at, but all you got to do is turn this around. Okay, they will match. And if one appears to be wider than the other, it's just based on how much I stretched it, okay? Or you stretched it. So let's just take 2. Make sure that your lines are the right way. Make sure it's not like this and it's all off whack, unless that's what you want. But this is how I do it, okay? And this is where my seam is that we just did, when we closed our ends. You can't really tell now, can you? But that's where it is. We are going to then do the mattress stitch. So we are going to, we're going to find the row now where the wide part of the V is going to the left and the point is to the right. Pick this up on this side and it's the same here. If you have to give this a half a turn to make it work, then that is what you do. Okay. So I've got them lined up just like this. You see? The wide part of the V, I'm going to just turn that a little bit. The wide part of the V is going to my left on both sides. Here's the point, here's the wide. That's because it's much, much easier to do your jog or your mattress stitch when your stitches are lined up that way. So we're going to count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is exactly how it should be because that's what we did. We're going to go into, just to start here, we're going to just go underneath this first row on both pieces. Pull it through. I'm going to tie that off later. That's just to begin. Then I'm going to go back over to this first one. I'm going to go into that stitch. I'm going to pick up that bar and the next one. Okay, so that's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 10 in here, but I can't get in it. So I'm going to go to the second one here and pick up both of those bars. And if I do it on that side, I got to do it on the other side. So I'm going to go into this second one here and pick up 2 bars. We will tie it off. The first one's, this went through, so it'll be secure. We're going to just make sure that our row is all lined up. And this is where we came out. You see that yarn tail coming out there? We're going to go back into there. We're going to pick up this next stitch and the one after it. Pull through. Here's where it's coming out of this stitch. We're going to go back into there, pick up this next bar and the one after it. We're going to go back in where the yarn tail is coming out, pick up 2 bars, go across, go where the yarn tail is coming out, pick up 2 bars, and we're going to repeat this wonderful process all the way around. Now this is where we have our color change, and you're going to have a hard time seeing because it's black. So I'm going to line up that row. I'm staying on the same exact row, and even being right up close to it, it's hard to see because it's black, but persevere. We're going to go into where we came out, pick up 2 stitches and pull through. Into where we came out, pick up 2 bars and pull through. All the way down that section, just like so. Once you get going, it's not hard. Pick up 2. Into where you came out, pick up 2 stitches. Pick up 2. Pick up 2. Pick up 2. And pick up 2. Now from there, we are going to take both ends and we are going to pull. And you see how that lines it up? Take your needle and just push that yarn where you've changed your color. Just push that up so that your line matches. It only didn't match because we stretched it as we were working. So all you got to do is just manipulate it with your needle and it'll be perfect. We're going to do this all the way around, making sure that we line up that same row. Okay, so once you pull it, you got to stop to find that row again. Okay, and then here's where it was coming out. You see here? I'm going to go back into that stitch and I'm going to pick up 2. I'm going to go over to this side and I'm going to pick up 2. Line those up. Go in, and there's a knot there that's hard to get under, so I'm going to go a little bit farther and go under that. I think I picked up 3 there, so I'm going to do the same thing here, only so that I could get underneath that knot. Okay, then I'm going to pinch right here and I'm going to pull here just so that I can see if I've lined it up properly. Yes, I did. Okay, So sometimes you have to take 3 just to get under that knot, because you don't want to have a funny looking stitch there. So here's where I came out. I'm going to pick up 2. And here's where I came out. I'm going to pick up 2. Being careful when I come to my color changes. There's 2. There's 2. Pinch and pull. Then every once in a while, stop and manipulate your row, because it's going to move, because it'll just slide up this piece of yarn here. But get them nice and even, just like that, and you'll have a beautiful, beautiful finished work, okay? So you're going to continue this process all the way around. So again, you're going to find that same row. I'll just get you started here again. Find that same row that you were working on. So don't be fooled by this one, because that's what when I pull this tight, this one looks like it's the row you're working on, but the point of the stitch is going to the left, so you know that's not the right one. You just got to give this a little bit of a manipulation there, and you get on the right row. Then pinch that small section and work that small section. Pinch the next small section, work that next small section, because otherwise, if you look too far ahead and you try to get a big piece, then that's when you have a hard time staying on the same row. Okay, friends? So go ahead, finish this all the way around, and when you get to the end, I will see you back. Make sure you stop at every section and pull it, and then manipulate the color change area so it's nice and beautiful. Take your time, enjoy the process, and when you get all the way around, I will meet back with you. I'm coming around to the end. And I'll work it with you. Wasn't so bad, was it? Oh, I'm going to take 3 because I'm under that knot. So I'll do the same on here. And we're up to the end. And to the end, I'm going to pinch where I left off and pull. Now, when you pull, sometimes you're pulling to, if you pull too hard, you're gathering in there. So once you have that all done, take your hands and pull this really hard so that you don't have a tight piece in there, okay? And then you're going to take your needle and you're going to manipulate that row again so that it's following this line that's in here and being positioned in the right place. And if you've done that after every color change, you will be very happy with how your work looks. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut this off because it's too long. Then I'm going to put this back on my needle. I'm going to just grab the end of this one and the beginning of that one, that side, and I'm just going to sew it together. Tie a knot, and again put this on my needle. Oops. We're going to hide it up into our work. Again, I want to hide the gray into the gray, so I'm not going to take it so far up that it goes into the black, because if it starts to peek out later, then you don't see it if it's in the same color. And there we go. We've grafted our first half. We're going to go around to this side, and because I was pulling it and I didn't fix this side, you can go ahead and, now that it's all tied off on the other side, take the point of your needle and just do some fine work here. Okay, so you're going to now take your next piece and you're going to make sure that here's where your seam is. You want to make sure you line your seam up. Don't have it like this. Well, it won't work that way anyways because the lines don't match up. But you want to make sure that you match up your lines, have your seams in place, put another piece of yarn onto your needle and graft these two together as you did this one. These two, okay? So go ahead, get that finished, and when you're done that, you are going to then take your gray piece. It looks like it's really long now, but it won't be once we have it finished at the top, and you're going to graft that one on, okay? And once you have all 4 pieces grafted together, so this is the one you started with, you're going to then graft this next one on, and then take your gray one. You can graft it on the top or the bottom, doesn't really matter. And get those 4 pieces put together, and when you have that all finished, then we will come back and we will finish off what we need to finish off, okay? I hope you're cruising along. I am just on my last piece here. And with the solid color, it seems to go faster because you're not worried about color changes and matching them up and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So this goes pretty fast. Making sure that the wide part of my V is going to the left. And we're going to go all the way around. This is relaxing. Actually, when I first learned how to do this, it panicked me. I thought, oh my goodness, I have to do the invisible join. How in the heck am I going to do that? And once you get it, you get it. And the thing that I want you to pay attention to is you're putting a straight line through here that has no stretch. It has no give in it. So when you're pulling your section here, you want to then go back and you want to make sure that it's not pulling and gathering, and that's for all of your pieces. You want to just make sure that after you pull it closed, that you go in again and you loosen it up and just have it so that it sits very nicely, okay? So that was just one more tip that I wanted to share with you. And I'm going to continue on, almost ready to sew the top together. I'm just going to finish this off, tie a knot, hide your ends. If you want to make a really slouchy beanie, then you add another section. If you wanted it smaller so that it was really close and tight to your head, then you would have only had to do 3 panels instead of 4 here. So you can customize this however you like it. If you need it to be for a smaller child, then you do less rows so that it's not as wide. Very, very versatile way to make a beanie. Now, I also have a beanie or 2 on my channel that I make in this direction as well. So go ahead and click on the playlists on my channel and surf and have fun looking for different patterns. I've got lots that I've been able to you know, put on my channel. So I hope you enjoy them. Keep going, my friends. You're almost at the end, and we're going to close the top together. I made it around to the end. I'm going to go ahead and close this off. Hide my tail. There you go. Now, because I've been stretching again, I'm going to just take my needle and I'm going to realign some of these seams. Rest assured, they don't always just fall back the way they were. They will pretty much stay like this, okay? This is just part of the make. Okay, oops, let's tuck that knot in there. It wants to peek out of there. Come over to this side. Oh, I didn't do a very good job of this join, did I? Oh well, we'll fix it. Just by manipulating it over that yarn strand that's in the middle there. This is an important step. Don't miss this step. Even when you're doing your blankets, this is how you make your join when you put 2 pieces together look nice, okay? So there you have it. We're going to now put a piece, this is our back right here. This is where our seam is, so this will be our front. We're going to go ahead and grab a piece of yarn. I'm going to take gray because it doesn't matter, gray or black, and put your beanie inside out. And I'll be right back as soon as I have the yarn. This is the inside of my beanie. I'm going to find my seam so that I can start there. I'm going to go up at the top. I'm going to place my yarn at the top, at the very edge. You want to smooth this out. Make sure that you've got the very, well, it's just really this last section that you have to worry about. And you're going to Then take, doesn't matter which direction these are going in, but all I'm going to do is I came up out of this one, I'm going to skip one and go in one, skip one and come out. So we're going to just gather like this all along, but follow that same row. And we're going to go in and out of every 2 or 3 stitches. You don't have to even be particular, except for the fact that you want to stay on the same row. I'm going to go miss 2, pick up 2, miss 2, pick up 2, all the way around, making sure that I'm staying on that same row. Miss 2, pick up 2, miss 2, pick up 2. Okay, we're going to do that all the way around. Important to stay on that same row. Okay, pick up 2, miss 2. Almost all the way around. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on those. Easier for me if I have it on this end. And when you pull on it, you also want to smooth it out, okay? Take your time, smooth it out, pull, smooth it out. Oh, I love this. Smooth it out, pull. I'm going to cut this shorter, tie a knot, just like that. Tie another knot. You still have a hole in the top, but we're going to go ahead and fix that next, okay? And then, isn't that pretty? Ah, love it. Then we're going to just take one strand. Might be helpful if you stick your hand in there, but maybe not. Yeah, I think it will be. See, that's where that opening is. So all I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to just pick up a little farther down. Just going to pick up a little bit of stitches there, then go over, pick up a bit more. Come on over here, just as close to the middle as you can. Just pick up a little section, smooth it out. Do the same thing. Somebody on my channel, oh, I don't know, maybe it was a month and a half ago, asked if you could make vertical stripes for a beanie. Here you go, my friend. I hope you're watching. Put it in the comments if that was you that was asking. And I hope you like this version, okay? So we're going to, oops, pull that. I forgot to pull it before I tightened it, but I just was able to do it. You're going to tie that off. I'm going to give it a third one. I'm going to hide that in between the layers. Cut it off. Smooth it, stretch it out, turn it inside out the other way, or right side out. And there, my friends, is your striped beanie using the 22 needle machine. I'm gonna just, I don't like how these one corners have gone, but again, it's just to play with it until you get it right. And once you get it right, it will stay. And you can wear it as a slouchy beanie like that, or you can fold that up and have it close to your head, just like that. Oh. One final thing to do, if you so desire, is to make pom-pom. Now, I used my Clover pom-pom maker. This is my favorite one. You see me using it all the time. It's got a number 65 on the back, and it is third largest in a size of 4 that I have, and I love it. All I did was hold 2 strands of yarn together, one in each color, and I wrapped it with those 2 colors and made the pom-pom. Now, you can look for my video on my channel. I'll link it down in the description box below for how to make a pom-pom on a Clover maker. And I love my Clover makers. So what we're going to do is we are going to just cut these off even so that I have the ability to get them on the needle easier. We're going to put them on our needle. This is the bigger one of the metal wool needles that I get. I get a package of 3. There's 3 different sizes of them. You can get them from Walmart or Amazon, are the only 2 places I know of, but I'm sure you can find them other places. I'm going to tuck that down into there. I'm going to take the other one. And I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to pick up a little bit of yarn in between so that it has something to separate the two, so the knot just doesn't fall right out, okay? Come back onto the inside. Pull those so that pom-pom is nice and close to the beanie. I'm going to put one tie, then I'm going to take this yarn strand and I'm going to pick up a bigger section on the inside here, just like so. Then I'm going to tie it again. 1 and 2 and 1 more, 3. And I'm going to hide the ends, okay? I was going to do them all together, but they don't all fit on there. So I'm just going to do what we've been doing all along with the other ends. Put it on my needle, hide it in between the 2 layers, cut it off. I'll do that to the next one and I will be right back. Okay, there we have it with the brim rolled up. However, you can wear it down like that too, and it's absolutely beautiful. Or you can just do 2 sections of the black and add that, and you'll have a nice snug beanie to your head. This is more of a slouchy beanie, but again, I like the warmth of a rolled up cuff because that is super warm, like super, super warm. And that's what I need in the climate that I live in. So you can, but I also like the versatility that you can wear it as a shorter beanie or you can wear it as a slouchy beanie. I'm all about making things that you can wear more than one way. So when you're wearing it, just be sure, this is the seam in the inside and looks beautiful, but wear it so that your stripes are right. So we've got 2 thicker stripes in the middle. This would be our middle then. So we got our 10 and our 10, then we've got our 5 and our 5, and then it's centered, but it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's going to look good no matter what part you have on. There you go, friends. This is on a mannequin head with the brim folded up. So of course that makes your beanie a little bit shorter, and so it comes closer to your head. And then you get that warmth of the extra layers of the brim because it's folded up. But you don't have to wear it that way. You can leave the brim folded down and it will look beautiful as a slouchy beanie. Isn't that gorgeous? Like, I just love it. I think it's just so pretty. So you have that option of wearing it both ways. If you look on my channel, the same time I posted this beanie, I also posted a neck warmer that follows the same color patterning in it. And it's beautiful. And be sure and look at that neck warmer as well. It opens from the front and there's several different ways to wear it. So happy to show you that as well. Please make sure that you show me your projects in my Facebook group, Koala Knits and Knacks. If you make it, please show us. We'd love to see. Again, friends, thanks again for joining me. I sure appreciate you so much. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. All right, other than that, my friends, have a fantastic day.